Okay, kindergartners, today we are going to have an adventure. And that's why I'm wearing my outside hat. I always like to wear a hat when I go outside and spend a lot of time outside. And we are going to be exploring a beautiful mountain range. I'm going to flip this back up so you can see my face a little better. Now, this isn't like any mountain range you have ever seen before. Number one, the mountains are really easy to draw. Number two, there's magic. So, in this land, there are mountains everywhere. Some of them are really tall. This is the mountain we are going to explore, and look how easy that is to draw. There are smaller mountains off in the distance. This isn't the whole range, there are mountains all around us. Now, the cool thing about these mountains is whenever you have a big range of mountains with lots of different peaks, they need to have names. But these mountains are not named like Mount Evans or Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest. No, no, no. These mountains are given number names. So, I'm going to name this mountain a 5 mountain. Now, this isn't even the coolest part. I'm getting there. At the top of these mountains, there is a cozy, dark little cave. And in that cave live magical creatures called tiny tumblers. Can you say that with me? Tiny tumblers. Have you ever heard the word tumble before? So, like those pictures might make you think, tumble means to roll or twist and turn or flip. And that's exactly what these tiny tumblers do. They are the perfect shape for tumbling. I want you to think of what kind of shape would roll or flip or tumble down these mountains. A square? Would that tumble very well? No, that would probably just slide all the way down. No, they're not square shaped. I know, triangles. Mm-hmm. You're right. Those would slide right down too. They're not triangle shaped. They are actually shaped with no flat sides. They are completely round. So when they come up, yep, they roll all the way down the mountain because of gravity. Once they come out of the cave, they have nowhere to go but down because they're round. They roll. But the cool thing, they don't always roll down the same sides. Every day is a little bit different on that math mountain. Today, we're going to imagine that 2 tumble down the left side. 1 and 2. You know why I draw them at the bottom? Because they don't tumble for very long before they end up at the bottom. Now, if there are 2 that tumbled on this side, how many are still up in that cave waiting to tumble down? That's the trick. Let's see, this is how I like to figure it out. I count these 2, and then I try to count to 5. So I've got 1, 2, I'll need 3, 4, 5 to get to 5. I'm going to do that again, drawing the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if 2 tiny tumblers went down this side, 3 tiny tumblers went down the right side of the mountain that day. And it would change the very next day. On the 2 math mountain, there's still a little cave, cozy, cozy, cozy cave up at the top. And every morning, those tiny tumblers come out and tumble down the mountain. Today, 2 tumblers went on this side. 1, 2. No tiny tumblers on that side today. Every day is a great number adventure in the land of Math Mountains. Okay, explorers, you have a job today. Your job as you go exploring is to imagine these Math Mountains and document. That means write down so that you can remember what the mountains looked like with those little tiny tumblers. We're imagining that these mountains are very far away. And so you can see that these first Math Mountains are all 6 Math Mountains. They did the first one for you so that you can see about how big to make your your tiny tumblers so that they fit. And they already told you how many tiny tumblers tumbled down each side. Your job is to draw those tiny tumblers in. Let me show you the hard thing about it. One hard thing is to make sure that you're drawing them on the angle. Sometimes kindergartners draw them going straight up. Oops, have to erase that, try it again. The other thing that's tricky is making the whole tumbler. Some kindergartners forget that they are totally round and have no flat sides, and so they make these bumps. But I'll tell you, bumps slide. Bumps don't roll. They are not bumps on the mountain. Erase that. I can do better. So, trick number 1, getting it on the mountain itself, not balancing like a tower of circles that would fall over. Trick number 2, not bumps. Bumps have a flat side and they slide. The third tricky thing is making them the right size because you can see how teeny tiny they are. So they're full circles and you'll have to go very carefully. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this side, 2. 1, 2. Okay, kindergarten explorers. So your first job is going to be to finish all of these Math Mountains, doing your very best to draw in those tiny tumblers. Then you have a little fun art project. I want you to show us what you think a tiny tumbler looks like. We know they're round. I'm going to put it on the Math Mountain. I'm not going to draw many details because I don't want to give away my own idea. I want to see yours. We know they're round, but do they have faces? Do they have arms and legs? If they have arms and legs, are they short or really long? Do they have hair, long hair, short hair, just on the top of their heads, all over their bodies? I don't know. I've never seen one in real life. I've only seen them from afar, where they just look like those teeny tiny little circles. But I really want to see what your imagination tells you that a tiny tumbler mountain might really look like. So please share those pictures of your Math Mountain, your own Math Mountain, because I'll tell you what, Math Mountains are going to show up again and again and again in kindergarten and also in first grade. So have fun with your first visit to the mountain range of Math Mountains and the magical, mystical, tiny tumblers.